BBC News at 5 o'clock. This is Nikki Cardwell. The boss of the energy regulator has warned that another big rise in prices is almost inevitable this autumn. Boris Johnson says the Northern Ireland Protocol must be sorted out and the UK will act alone if no agreement is reached. Rebecca Vardy has taken the stand at the High Court as her libel case against Colleen Rooney continues. The head of the energy regulator, Ofgem, says millions of people should expect more increases in the cost of their gas bills this autumn. In a speech in Glasgow, Jonathan Brayley said higher prices were a matter of life and death for some people. Here's our personal finance correspondent, Kevin Peachy.
Industry forecasts suggest a further £600 could be added to a typical annual domestic energy bill in England, Wales and Scotland in October. That's a blow for households already having to cope with the average £700 a year increase which came into effect last month. Suppliers buy their gas on the wholesale markets. Jonathan Brearley says they're in a volatile state following Russia's invasion of Ukraine. One government policy will reduce bills by £200 in October, but customers will have to pay back that money in instalments, and ministers remain under pressure to do more.
The government's facing more calls to take action to address the cost of living crisis following yesterday's Queen's speech. Labour wants an emergency budget as soaring inflation and the war in Ukraine put increasing pressure on families. Scotland's First Minister Nicola Sturgeon says Boris Johnson needs to stop talking and let people see the action. Downing Street insists that a dozen ideas are being considered. Boris Johnson says Britain still wants to reach a negotiated settlement with the EU to fix post-Brexit trading arrangements for Northern Ireland. The Prime Minister says the protocol needs to be sorted out, but he's warned that the government reserves the right to take action if solutions can't be found urgently. The issue has led to a stalemate over forming a new Stormont executive. The Irish Foreign Affairs Minister, Simon Coveney, says the European Union believes that the Commission has been showing a willingness to compromise.
What they're hearing and seeing from London is a rejection of that approach towards a breach of international law and setting aside elements of a treaty that the British government was central to putting in place with the EU. So that hasn't gone down well, and I hope that decision makers in Westminster will reflect on that.
Rebecca Vardy has denied the suggestion that it was standard practice for her to leak private information to the Sun newspaper via her agent. The wife of the Leicester striker, Jamie Vardy, is suing Colleen Rooney for libel after she accused her of selling stories based on private Instagram posts. Lizo Mazimba is at the High Court.
Rebecca Vardy was briefly in tears in the witness box when she was being asked about an article in The Sun in which she spoke about her children being targeted by internet trolls. She spent much of the day being questioned about her relationship with the newspaper and about messages she exchanged with her former agent Caroline Watt. Colleen Rooney's barrister suggested that the messages showed Mrs Vardy liked to supply stories to the newspaper by passing information through Miss Watt. Mrs Vardy said that wasn't true.
An actress who appeared in the Marvel film Doctor Strange and her husband have been found guilty of a number of child sex offences. Sarah Pythian and Victor Mark jointly groomed and abused a teenage girl. The couple were both convicted at Nottingham Crown Court of 14 counts of sexual activity with a child between 2005 and 2008. Al Jazeera has accused Israel of deliberately targeting journalists after one of its correspondents was shot dead in the occupied West Bank. The broadcaster and the Palestinian authorities say Shireen Abu Akleh was shot in the head by an Israeli sniper while covering an army raid on a refugee camp. The spokesman for the Israeli embassy in the UK, Ohad Zenet, said an investigation would find out what happened.
The soldiers came under heavy fire. You cannot say they didn't, because there are footages that shows they were under extreme fire. And as I said, we need to investigate. And of course, you cannot claim that Israel, as a democratic country that holds freedom of press, are targeting journalists. This is an absurd claim to make.
Cricket, and the former New Zealand captain Brendan McCullum is set to be named as the new head coach of England's men's test side. It's believed he's accepted the role, and official confirmation will come at the end of the week after his contract is finalised. He'll replace Chris Silverwood, who left his position in February. In the city, the 100 share index closed up 104 points at 7,000. 348. And the weather: rain in the south of the UK will clear eastwards this evening, leaving a mainly clear and dry night, patchy cloud and a few showers everywhere else. Overnight lows of 7 Celsius in London, Belfast and Edinburgh, and 6 in Cardiff. BBC News, it's 5:05.
Thanks very much, Nikki.
Ladies and gentlemen,
introducing to you Sarah Cox, BBC Radio 2.
And thanks very much, Mr. Steve Wright. I hope he's packed his pack-a-mac. Have you seen it out there? It's filthy. Cats and dogs, gerbils, hamsters, cockatoos, chameleons. It's raining it all. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls and everyone in between, welcome to your well-bred Wednesday tea time extravaganza. Let me skip like a young maiden before these scattering tunes in your path like so many flower petals. You like excellent tunes, dear? Well, to quote Roy Orbison, you got it. There's features too, prepared to get misty-eyed and keen-eared, plus you legends. What's cooking? Where have you been? Has the dog chewed a loafer? Have you reupholstered a sofa? Tell me all about your Wednesday on 88.291. And as it is a Wednesday, there's Jukebox Jam, plus first and last a half hour, and wear a Ken Bruce linen jacket to the Sarahs, plus right off and Offspring clean. I'm excited. Queen is excited.
Plus, I'm going to have a little drinking.
Music.